Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about our first experiment inside Power Systems Lab. So in Power Systems Lab, like what you are seeing, there are 14 different stations, like what you are seeing, and each station has the same components. Let us go closer to one of them. Like for example, let us talk about this station. What is inside this station? It has the power supply, like what you are seeing. It has some loads. This is resistive loads, inductive loads, and variable resistance, capacitive load. And this module is for synchronization that you are going to use it later on in Power Systems 1. And this is the data acquisition system that's interfaced with the computer to be used as measurement devices for measuring the voltage, the current, the power. This guy is a module for the line, the transmission line, and you are going to use this for Power Systems 1 as well. These are some motors, generators, like for example, this guy is synchronous motor, this guy is DC motor. We are going to talk about all of these later on Power Systems course. What I would like to talk about today, I'd like you to know this load, this load, this load, and this power supply, and this interface with the data acquisition system. Let us talk about one by one. For the power supply, to use it, you have to turn it on, and then if you would like to use it, you have to move this switch to on. Right now it is on, I can use it. So this variac is changing the value of the voltage or the value of the supplied voltage that you need based on whichever kit that you are using. Like for example, if I would like to use variable AC voltage, so I'm going to use this guy because this guy is giving me from 0 to 120 for single phase volt, or from 0 to 208 for three-phase volt. And the current here maximum is around 5 ampere. So if you would like to use single phase, you are going to connect between this neutral and this phase, or this neutral and this phase, or this guy and this phase. But if you would like to use it as a three-phase, like what we are going to see, I'm going to connect these three phases, phase A, B, and C. And by changing the location of this variac, I'm changing the value of the voltage between 0 to 120 if I'm talking about single phase, or 0 to 208. But if I try to use this part, this is AC, but it is fixed value. So if I'm connecting my supply between these two spots, I'm going to measure 120, and I couldn't change the value of this voltage by using the variac because this is fixed AC. And if I'm using these three different spots, I'm taking 208, it's fixed value. These two are used for DC. So if you are talking about DC, again, fixed value, I'm going to use those. The value of the DC is 120 volt and the current is 2 ampere. But if I would like to have DC but with variable values, I can connect my supply to these two spots, and by changing the location of the variac, I can change the value of the supply voltage between 0 and 120. So the first step is turn this on and then connect whatever the spot that you are going and change the value that you need. Let us talk about this resistive load. For resistive load, because this is educational, we try to connect three different resistors, 1,200, 600, 300 ohms, and those are repeated because we are going to use those in a three-phase. But we are going to use this set for different values of resistances. If this guy is on, it means I have only 300. If this guy is on, I have those connected in parallel. If this guy is on, I'm connecting all of those in parallel, and I'm taking the total resistance between these 2 points. Since this is educational, I'm making that to make it more easier instead of connecting more resistors in parallel. And the same for this guy, the same for this guy, because I'm going to use them for a three-phase measurements. This is the same, but we are talking here about inductor with different values. So 300 ohm, the reactance for this guy, if this guy is on. If this guy is on, the total reactance is 600 ohm. If this guy is on, the total reactance is 1,200. And the same for this kit and the same for this kit. This is the capacitive loads. Again, I'm using 3 different capacitors connected in parallel. And if this guy is, this is off and this is on, if this guy is on, it means I'm measuring here 300 ohms, which is the reactance between these two. And again, this guy is repeated here, it is repeated here as well, because I'm going to use them for three-phase analysis. Let us talk about data acquisition system. For data acquisition and control interface system, we are going to use them for measuring the voltage and for measuring the current and for measuring the power. So any two of those are used as voltmeters. Any two of those are used as a meter for maximum of 4 ampere or for maximum of 40 if I'm using those. So I can use this as voltmeter and I can use this as a meter. This is connected in series and this is connected in parallel. Pay your attention, the maximum voltage that this guy is measuring is 800. And again, if I connected this guy to measure the voltage, and I connected this guy to measure the current across, for example, this resistance. So I'm measuring the current in this guy, and I'm measuring the voltage across this guy. So I'm connecting them between, for example, these two, E3 and I3. If you would like to measure the power, if you try to go to the software here that we are going to use, you will find it here under name of LVDAC. So if you try to click on this guy, you are going to see this. And there are many things, many options here. I can use it as a meter for measuring, and I can use it as oscilloscope. I can use it for many things. Today we are using it as a meter, so it is measuring the current and the voltage. So I would like to measure E1. So this guy is on. This guy is on for measuring E2, this guy is on for measuring E3, and all of those are measuring R, and all of those are measuring the power like what you are seeing. This guy is measuring P, which is between E1 and I1, and this guy is measuring P between E2 and I2, and this guy is measuring also P between E3 and I3. So if I did my connection, and then I would like to make some measurements, I'm going to use this guy for measure the voltage, for measure the current, even for measure the power factor, for measure the power, or I can use these for measuring the voltage and the current, but there is no need for those because I have the data acquisition system. This is what I would like to talk about for this simple introduction about Power Systems Lab. But please pay your attention, if you are in Power Systems Lab, please don't use any food or any drink, or don't, try to be careful because you are dealing with 208 or 120 volt, which can make some things for your body. It is dangerous to deal with that environmental, so you have to be careful. If you feel that there is a problem, we have here in each station button, we can press it to stop everything inside that station or inside another one. Thank you so much for that part, and I'll see you for lab number 3 later on. Bye for now.